welcome to another TGIF episode of the Anti-Pharmacist Podcast. I must tell you guys, I almost did not make this episode because, but then, what drives you, when passion drives you, just have no choice but to keep going, okay? Just have no choice but to keep going. I have been very tired, but I have rested a bit and I'm better, okay? So this episode will not be too long, but I just said I must mark this register. The devil is a liar. I must record something, which is why you're hearing my voice today. I mustn't miss it for anything. And the information that you need to get from me today, I don't want to deprive you of it now, as a good girl that I am. Okay, now that I've said that, please excuse my voice. The Harmattan is getting to me. Well, I hope you have had a nice week so far. Well, like I said, Harmattan is getting to me because Harmattan has started in Nigeria and I can feel it. Yeah, seriously, the air is so dry right now. I hope I'm not the only one feeling this. So I also hear that it's winter in some parts of the world. So wherever you are, just make sure that you take necessary precautions and dress appropriately for the weather, okay? On today's episode, I'll be talking about a slightly controversial topic in the medical world. I say slightly controversial because some see the need for it, while others believe that it is just a hype. Can you guess what this topic is? Well, you spied it on the episode title, so I might as well say it already. Well, I'm talking about probiotics. Yeah, let me get right into the topic because I feel like there's a lot to talk about this probiotics. So sit back, relax, and get on this ride of discovery with me. First, let me start from the beginning here. There's something called the gut microbiota. If you have listened to my last episode, you know that I mentioned that microorganisms are present in our gut, or stomach as you might like to call it. By the way, if you haven't listened to the last episode, listen to it immediately after this, okay? Is that a promise? I know that is a promise. Thank you. So where was I? Yes, the gut microbiota. This is a collective term for the population of microorganisms in our gut. The bacteria, the yeast, which are the fungi. There's some viruses as well, and some protozoas. They serve different purposes, but majorly to aid digestion and maintain the gastrointestinal balance. They also have immune functions. Now, due to the various lifestyles and things we take in, even antibiotics, the gut microbiota may be affected. Some microorganisms may grow more than necessary, and some may totally be eradicated, leading to diseases like diarrhea, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcers, obesity, and the likes. In recent years, researchers have shown that there is this axis in the body called the gut-brain axis. So they are postulating that, or they are hypothesizing, forgive my big English, they are just saying that your gut, the content of your stomach, of your intestine, may actually affect your central nervous system because there is a direct pathway from your stomach to your central nervous system, which consists of your brain and spinal cord, right? So you know that whatever is inside your stomach, whatever you eat, may eventually affect your lifestyle. The brain controls a lot of bodily functions, right? The production of your hormones, your movement, your reasoning, your behavior. So a lot of these things. So literally, this just brings to bear the saying that you are what you eat. Okay, let me not go too far, all right? Let me just tell you the types of probiotics that are available. You see, there are many types of bacteria that are classified as probiotics. And of course, did I tell you that probiotics are actually these microorganisms, but in a processed form? I told you that once the gut microbiota has been decombobulated, has been scattered, the balance has been disrupted. Some microorganisms grow more than they should. Some are eradicated completely. So you would need to replace this so that balance can be reachieved. And how do you do this? By using bacteria, by using fungi. Do you understand? So you are using these microorganisms to actually fight others that are not needed and to repopulate those that are needed. Do you understand? So it's like you're pitching enemies against each other. Like you are creating a natural, what did Darwin call it again? Survival of the fittest in your stomach. Do you understand me? I think you do. Thank you. So most of these probiotics are bacteria. Some are yeast, which are known as fungi. Okay, they are processed in some kind of way using some pharmaceutical processes. Most are made into powders that you can pour in water. Some are liquid, some are encapsulated. You can buy them, take them. When they get to your stomach, they do what they're supposed to do. Okay, so they all have different benefits. Okay, there are majorly 3 types of probiotics: the lactobacillus, the bifidobacteria, and the Saccharomyces boulardii. Saccharomyces boulardii is the only yeast amongst these probiotics. Okay, lactobacillus is present in milk and most milk products. Okay, your yogurt and the likes, and studies has shown that it has some benefits linked to preventing yeast infections like bacterial vaginosis, urinary tract infection, irritable bowel syndromes, antibiotic-related diarrhea, traveler's diarrhea, and it could even be used to treat lactose intolerance. Okay, then some skin disorders too. It is beneficial in skin disorders like fever, blisters, eczema, acne, canker sores, and also it prevents some respiratory infections. That is so good, right? Now for bifidobacteria, there are approximately 30 species. I don't want to bother you with the botanical names of these things because even my own teeth can come out. They appear in intestinal tracts within days of birth, especially in breastfed infants, and they are the best marker of intestinal health. That's the bifidobacterium. See, studies have also shown that bifidobacteria can help with improving blood lipids and glucose tolerance. They have been shown to be effective in alleviation of inflammatory bowel syndrome and significantly improve some inflammatory bowel syndrome symptoms like pain, discomfort, distension, bloating, urgency, and digestive disorders. That's for bifidobacteria. And the last one being the fungi among them, the yeast, Saccharomyces boulardii. I'm sure if you have been visiting pharmacies a lot, you would have either heard of this or seen it somewhere. And if you have not, it's okay. That's what I'm here for you, right? So it's the only yeast probiotic, and studies show that it is effective in preventing and treating diarrhea associated with the use of antibiotics, and also in treating traveler's diarrhea. It also prevents recurrence of Clostridium difficile. It's used to treat acne and also reduces the side effects of treatment for H. pylori. That's the ulcer-causing bacteria. Okay, there are others that are not so common, like the Streptococcus thermophilus, Enterococcus faecium, the Conostoc. Okay, these are all probiotics. Okay, but they are not common. Now, others are found in foods, and I know in this part of the world we don't eat most of these foods, but it will help you to know. Okay, for my listeners that are outside Nigeria, these foods are easily accessible, more easily accessible. If you're in Nigeria and you are, what's the word now? You're intentional enough, you're determined enough, you'll be able to get these foods. They can help with that your condition. Irritable bowel syndrome is a chronic condition, by the way, and it takes a lot of toll. You can use this as lifestyle modification to help your medication. Do you understand? Of course, after having discussed it with your healthcare provider. So there's some of these products, natural products, food products that will give you these probiotics naturally, and there are some that are already processed that you can buy. Those are the ones I'll be talking about, but let's start with the food ones, right? Yeah. Now, the foods that contain probiotics. Number 1, kefir. It's like a sour milk and not very far from yogurt. Okay, it is the most ideal probiotic dairy product. because it contains both bacteria and yeast working together to provide numerous health benefits. Okay, people with diabetes were given kefir milk in some studies, and it showed that the glycated hemoglobin levels were significantly lower in the group consuming this kefir. And kefir is not common in this part, like I said earlier, but you could find it in the Middle East. And for those that are really keen on it, you could find it too, even in Nigeria. But you have to do your homework, right? And for my listeners abroad, this is your cue. You can go into your malls to get kefir, right? Another one is kimchi. That's number 2 food with the most probiotic. Kimchi. If you're a Korean movie lover like myself, you know kimchi. They eat it a lot. It's fermented vegetables. It is made from fermenting Chinese cabbage, radish, green onion, red pepper powder, garlic, ginger, and fermented seafood called gyotgal. So many bacteria have been found to be present in this kimchi, like the leuconostoc, lactobacillus, a lot of lactobacillus species, Pediococcus, Weissela confusa. I've told you that I will not confuse you with those names, so let me just stop. And a recent review linked the health benefit of kimchi to anti-cancer, anti-obesity, anti-constipation, colon health promotion, cholesterol reduction, antioxidant activities, and anti-aging properties. Even brain health promotion. I talked about the brain-gut axis, right? Immune promotion and skin health promotion. Wherever bacteria is in your body and there's an imbalance, this thing can balance it, or even inside your body. So taking some healthy amount of probiotics, it's actually good for you, according to research. I'm bringing out research now because I said it's controversial. So people believe that all these things, people just want to sell supplements. You don't have to buy probiotics. But now they are in foods, and people that have eaten these foods through research have been shown to improve on their diseases. So there are actually benefits for them. And from these benefits, their usages, right? Yeah. Another food with the most probiotic is your yogurt. Thank God that one is common in Nigeria. But yogurt is different from yogurt, I hope you know. There's one we call Greek yogurt, more concentrated. There are other yogurts too that you just be like you are drinking milk or sugar. The yogurt to buy you. Yogurt, it contains Streptococcus thermophilus, Lactobacillus bulgaris, Bifidobacterium. Those 3 major probiotics, they seem to be present in yogurt. And research has shown links with yogurt to have positive effect on the gut microbiota. It's associated with reduced risk for gastrointestinal disease and improvement of lactose intolerance, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, allergies, and respiratory diseases. It also improves dental and bone health. So please take more of yogurt. I think I tell my patients that have ulcer that they can take yogurt. It really helps the gut microbiota. Okay, it really helps. Take yogurt instead of going for those Coke and energy drinks. Take yogurt. You'll be glad that you did. Okay. Yeah. Other foods without substantial research. This is where the controversy still is. I've told you about foods that have been researched: the kefir, the yogurt, the kimchi. Now others have not been researched so much into, but they are believed to also contain probiotics. Example are miso. It's a fermented soya bean paste. There's tempeh. There's sauerkraut. There's aged soft cheese. There's sourdough bread, sour pickles, gondrok. It's a non-salted, fermented and acidic vegetable product. There's sinki. It's an indigenous fermented radish taproot food. There's karpi. It's fermented cucumber. Inziang sang. It's traditional fermented leafy vegetable produced from the mustard leaves. Then there is soidonis. It's widespread fermented product prepared from the tip of mature bamboo shoots. These are like very strange, even to me. The first 3, they are not so strange, but these ones, please, they are strange to me. But if you can get your hands on them, they are good. Okay, what's the worst that could happen? If you found something similar in all of this, is the fact that they are fermented. And fermentation is that process in which the microorganisms in these products, they are multiplied. So these are fermented foods. You can even create your own probiotic in your house. Ferment something. Yes, no, don't let it get to alcohol level. Please don't say that it's a pharmacist that told you to go and start making alcohol in your house. But I'm talking about fermented foods. Okay, yogurt is a fine one. Get your hands on kimchi if you can. There are Korean restaurants, I think, everywhere, if you know where to look. Then your kefir, it's like a special type of milk. You can go for miso, you can go for your sinki. When you go on tourism, on tour to these countries, you can ask for these things. Buy substantial amounts back home. I hope that immigration will not be a problem, bringing such foods. But do your research, bring them home, store them, and start taking them. They are good for your health. Either you have these diseases or not, okay? They are good for your health. Yeah. So I've talked about benefits of probiotics while talking about them hand in hand, right? Now let's look at the side effects and risks of probiotics. Why some people may not really be keen on using this product, okay? The first thing you have to know, and I think I've mentioned, but if I haven't mentioned it, this is me saying it, that probiotics are live microorganisms. They are not dead. They are not killed. They are not attenuated. They are live. So you have to be careful taking them in. I told you about balance. If you take them in too high a concentration or too much of a quantity, then you're upsetting the balance again. This balance thing is very delicate, So the best way to take in probiotics is by your diet. That's the ideal source. Diet, okay? You must monitor them carefully. And depending on the probiotic product's intended use, the FDA might regulate it as a dietary supplement, a food ingredient, or a drug. Okay, there are many probiotics that are sold as dietary supplements that do not even require the approval. Do you understand? So, caution needs to be taken by everyone who chooses to take these supplements, especially for children, pregnant women, elderly people, and people with compromised immune system. For people with compromised immune system due to disease or treatment for a disease such as cancer, chemotherapy, taking probiotics may actually increase your chance of getting sick. There have been reports that use of various probiotics for immunocompromised patients or patients with a leaky gut has resulted in infections and sepsis. Sepsis is infection of the bloodstream. They even found one recent case of bacteremia, that is bacteria in the bloodstream, when someone with active severe IBS, that is inflammatory bowel disease, with mucosal disruption was given lactobacillus. So, always speak with your healthcare provider before taking any supplement. Do you understand? Yeah, because it's like a general thing that in food substances or natural, environment of these microorganisms, their growth rate is not as fast as processed ones, because in those processed ones, some catalysts have been put there to increase their population. So you might be taking in more when you buy probiotics than when you are eating them from their natural sources like food. Do you understand? So in case of probiotics, settling for the food source is better than settling for the supplement source. I hope you understand me. I'm not saying that the supplements are bad, but please do not take them carelessly without letting your healthcare provider guide you, okay? Because some probiotics, food, drinks, supplements have caused cases like food poisoning, diarrhea, nausea, indigestion, abdominal cramps, severe bacterial and fungal infections, particularly in immunocompromised people, and even acidosis. So now that I've told you the benefits, the usage, the precautions to take, the potential side effects, how should you take probiotics? Let's close with that, okay? So the general dosage for probiotics is at least 1 billion colony forming units daily, okay? Because these are live microorganisms that will not provide the promised benefits if they don't remain alive. You must pay close attention to the condition of storage at which that particular microorganism will survive and the end of their shelf life. Okay, and these microorganisms are different. So you just have to talk to your healthcare provider. Know which gut microbiota you're lacking. Do you get? And you have to replace so that you take the right microorganism. Because with the growing popularity of probiotics, there's a huge variety of supplements from which you can choose. The most important thing is to determine what type of probiotic microorganism you need for your condition. Don't just take any supplement that provide the most kinds of organisms, because you see some supplements containing many of these microorganisms I've mentioned earlier, saying they are probiotics. If you're not careful, you might be upsetting your gut microbiota balance again. Do your research and be sure that there are scientific studies to support what you take. I've told you the ones that are supported by science, and I've told you the ones that are still controversial to date. Although new research is emerging, so if you don't find what you need right now, keep looking. In a few months' time or in a few years' time, you might just find that, oh, this one is beneficial now. Okay, so it's your healthcare provider that can help you decide which probiotic might be helpful for you, and can also advise you regarding the amount and type of probiotic that may be appropriate for your case. All right? Yeah, I think that's it. But before I close, there are other products called prebiotics and symbiotics. Okay, let me whet your appetite with that. I'll bring that as another topic on another episode of the Anti-Pharmacist podcast. Thank you so much for listening up to this point. Okay, please do not forget to listen, not only from the beginning but to the end. After you have listened, then just help me share to your contacts, to your friends on social media and all of that. Then if you haven't followed me on socials, go on IG, follow Anti-Pharmacist podcast. Go on LinkedIn, follow Gbemisola Adepsi Jose. Go on Facebook, follow Gbemisola Adepsi Jose. Go on X, follow Fan Podcaster. Do you understand? And as I get into other social media platforms, you'll be the first to know. Trust me. Yes. So please do not only listen and share, subscribe to this podcast, follow me. As soon as you subscribe, okay, once I release an episode, you'll get notifications. And where can you subscribe? Where can you listen? On Spotify, you can listen on Amazon Music, you can listen on Castbox, you can listen on Apple Podcast, you can listen on YouTube Music, and many other podcast posting channels on the internet. So just search Anti-Pharmacist podcast, listen, share, like, subscribe, and continue supporting me. I really appreciate your help till now, and I'm looking forward to more of it. Thank you so much once again for listening to me today. TGIF once again. So enjoy the rest of your week. Have a nice weekend with friends and family. Till next time, stay healthy and God bless you. Toodles.